Letters you never sent. Forgiveness, expression, and release. Unspoken words still heal when felt fully. This make me think of a situation I've had where with one of my parents we had a disagreement. I was so upset. And with some people, I'm not gonna say everybody, there are some people who's rude. Like it's best to be respectful to your parents because they help bring you into this world, right? And I'm sure a lot of you agree. I wrote this letter to myself as if I were to send it to him, just to get all of my feelings out. And I don't know who needs to hear this. So it's like whatever situation you're dealing with people, it's good to write that letter. It is good to express yourself. It's no longer a burden that sits on your heart and on your mind. And you release it because it doesn't serve you. Yeah, somebody could have done you wrong, but you don't have to hold it against them. When you allow things to eat at you, it can develop in different ways or manifest in different ways that you don't need it. And you don't need that in your life. Let's choose peace over everything. So when I wrote that letter, it felt good. I don't know who needed to hear that, but I hope that helped you out. Even though these words has not been spoken, the fact that you acknowledge them, the fact that you feel them and understand and express them and come to an agreement that, okay, I forgive them, I let this go, you become the most freest person alive. Static between worlds. Confusion, energy, reset. What feels like noise is asking for stillness. Absolutely. This image here is where this person is just, in between, the worlds that they're talking about, right? So this makes me think of like you have your busy life right here, and then you have like the peaceful life. Things can be so chaotic in the world that you're living, your reality, right? And then you just have this urge for calmness and peace, a moment to sit the heck down, and just gather yourself, be yourself, not feel flustered and pulled in every which direction. Soft return. Homecoming, peace, gentleness. Every breath brings you closer to yourself. Like this woman here, she is on a journey. These messages are gender neutral, by the way. And when you see the moon, it usually deal with emotions. You want to bring peace into your life, be gentle with yourself. When we breathe in, oh, you know what? Let me just bring in the card. It says soft exhale. Release, surrender, peace. Your breath knows the way. Take a moment to reset. Remembering light. Wisdom, gratitude, reflection. Nothing real can be forgotten. Absolutely not. Nothing real can ever be forgotten. Remembering light. So, within any situation in life, wisdom is something you gain from every experience in life, whether you liked it or not. It's great to acknowledge the gratitude of every situation. Like, for example, when I used to work at a well renowned coffee shop, I did closing shifts and I did opening shifts. I was exhausted. So I was riding my bike. Before I knew it, I'm blinking my eyes and my eyes closed. And I fell asleep behind the wheel of my bike. Luckily, I was still on the sidewalk. But you know what, though, out of that story, I gained wisdom. If I needed a break, take a break. After that, I would just take a break. If I needed to sit down, I would just sit down. Falling asleep behind riding a bike is terrible. And I skidded my knee too. That sucked. I reflected on that and I'm like, you know what? I'm grateful that I did not hurt myself. And I'm grateful that other people was very nice. Hopefully no one has to learn that lesson. Oh my gosh. I give that a 40 thumbs down. Moonlight reset. Restoration, softness, cycles. Even the moon takes nights off. Yeah, it's saying you guys need to start getting your rest. So I looked at something today where I was seeing something about foundation and balance in life. And so I'm not gonna lie to you. Ever since last year, I've been trying to find a way of balance. How do you balance your life, right? Because when you look on YouTube, people are like work, 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 productivity, productivity, like all on social media. And then, whoo, enjoy the fruits of your labor. But like, you all burnt out and tired, Why work until you're all burned out? Like, how that makes sense? I mean, it worked for some, I guess, but like, we're not robots. And that's something that I've been like learning. Like, you don't want to mechanicalize your life. You want to live your life naturally. You want to flow. One thing I've learned was Yes, you want to have time to work. You want to have time to chill, and then you want to have time to actually rest. Yes, when I talk about the work, leisure time, and sleep. Let me grab my notes. I was looking for this to be the short. This is all vertical and everything. Oh well, it's for a reason, right? I'll probably break some of this up into a short. With balance, you have spiritual practice, tangible action, and rest. Those are the big three, right? With meditation, tarot, and praying, that's a spiritual practice, along with sitting in silence, affirmations, and, you connecting with your guides. That is an inward practice. All spirituality. For the material world, I'm sure you have an idea of what that is, right? So it's like doing dishes, doing laundry, and then rest. Now, there's three levels of rest. We have passive rest, which is like watching a movie, scrolling on your phone, listening to a podcast. And then you have the active rest, where you're sitting in silence, having a gentle stretch, listening to music, enjoying the ambiance, and you're not doing anything. You're not like making the effort to think and all of that. And then you have deep rest, which I'm sure we all know what that is, right? Where you're actually resting, you're going to sleep, you're taking a nap. It could even be you laying down with just your eyes closed. Balance is going to look different for everybody, but those are the three main ones in finding balance in your life. Let me know how you guys do on that. Definitely let me know in the comments if that has helped you figure it out for yourself, and maybe you could put that into practice. And that's one of the things that I'm learning, where everything don't have to happen today. I hope that you guys are getting rest and finding balance in your life, because that's very important for all of us, especially for us to be mentally calm, peaceful, coming back to ourselves, who we truly are, being able to focus, being able to think, for ourselves, and not being overwhelmed by the world around us. So I hope that helped, and I will see you in the next one.